It's Reverend Letiska Powell, and today we are going over several scriptures that speak to the idea that God dwells within us, or that we are created in its likeness, affirming the divine connection we hold. Before we get started, I want to say thank you for showing up and applying these lessons in your life. Now go ahead and give me some love by hitting the like button and put a yellow heart in the comments today. Here are some key verses that touch on this profound truth. Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his image. In the image, God created him. Male and female, he created them. This fundamental scripture reveals that we are made in God's image and likeness, implying that we carry aspects of his divine nature within us. This likeness is not merely physical but spiritual, reflecting his attributes of love, creativity, and purpose. Psalms 82:6, I said, you are God's, and all of you are children of the Most High. Here God speaks directly to humanity, reminding us of our divine heritage, being children of the Most High, points to a shared divinity or divine potential within each person. 1 Corinthians 3:16, do not know that you are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells in you. This verse reminds us that God's Spirit resides within us, making each of us a temple. It highlights the intimate presence of God in our lives and emphasizes that our inner being is sacred and connected to the divine. Galatians 2:20, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Paul speaks of Christ living within him, symbolizing a unity between himself and God. This verse illustrates the idea of God being an active, living presence within us, guiding our lives. Colossians 1:27, to them God willed to make known what are the riches of glory of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Paul speaks of Christ in us, the hope of glory, emphasizing the indwelling presence of God within each believer. The mystery of God within us is a source of hope, strength, and purpose. John 14:20, oh, that day you will realize that I am in my Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. In this verse, Jesus describes a profound unity, stating that he is within us just as he is within the Father. This interconnectedness signifies that we are not separate from God, but united with God. 1 John 4:4. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them because he knows he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. This verse speaks to the power of God within us, which is greater than any external force or challenge. It encourages us to recognize the divine strength and the authority that resides within us. Peter 1:4, by which have been given to us exceedingly great and precious promises, that through these you may be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. These are just a few scriptures, and there are plenty more of these same scriptures that signify our oneness with God. Accepting our oneness with God is the thing. I remember I was in class, and in this class, towards the end of the class, you know how they open the floors, you can ask the questions and everything. I said, I really appreciate the younger people because the younger people acknowledge I am a god or a goddess. People around my age, it's hard for them to really say I am a god or a goddess, even a high priestess. It's like, what? Oh my God. Yet, that is exactly who you are. God creates good. God creates itself as pure satisfaction. When we acknowledge ourselves as being one with God, therefore we become that in which we affirm we are. If we're affirming that we're something other than God, that's our own personal, concept. For years I did that because I was working on trying to be something that I had. It took me years to realize that I already was. I kept thinking of the word becoming, and I'm like, once I really got God was with me, and God is everything in its fullness. I realized I didn't have to become anything. I became aware that I was already it. And so aligning myself with what I am was my all sufficiency. It was my great intention, my strong intention to set forth in the universe, to no longer hide how I felt, to no longer hide behind classes. Not saying that the classes did not help me. I know all my help comes from God. Now, my physical being said I needed to learn. My spiritual being said I already know. Then I had conflict with that. I can't walk around here talking about I know everything. I got to get some help. Then God said, I am all the help that you need. Who else can tell you who I am without a state of consciousness? When I'm conscious of being myself. Who else can download into you my omnipotent glory, my splendor, my oneness, my interconnectedness with you all? Whether you believe or not, whether you know or not, whether you understand or not, I am with you. Only I can. Then it was, Father, forgive me, for I have erred in my thinking. I've gone outside of myself to get information that has been with me the whole time. I've gone outside of myself for validation when I was already validated. Quick story, because you know how I do it. I always have to give you a story. 2000, see, this is maybe 2020. Had a great awakening in my bathroom. Realized, ran up the steps, told my daughter, oh my God, I know where God is. God is with us. From that point on, I wanted to change everything about me. And I went through all these changes, babe. I went vegan. I did everything. Everything society was telling me to do. Oh, you have to change, you have to change, you have to change, you have to change. The moment I accepted just as I am, God revealed itself to me. I stood in pure presence of love, unconditional love. And I stopped beating myself up. Thank you guys for listening to me. See you soon. I hope this message got you there a little further.